What's up, everybody? I want to give an update on the January challenge, which was 20 minutes a day. So 31 days times 20 is 620 minutes. So I didn't anyway, so my total minutes for the month was 655. And so I went over the total time, which is good. So I spent the time, but the number of days I actually painted was actually 18. So 18 out of the 31. So I did half, but it's really funny because I felt like I did more than that. Because some of the days I thought, well, I have the extra time, so let me do the update, right? I had more time, so I could spend more than 20 minutes. A lot of this time is spent thinking about, what am I going to do? What's my order of painting? And I do count that in my hobby time, as far as when I'm sitting down with the paints, looking at the colors and trying to decide that. So again, I spent 655 minutes. And if you do 20 minutes a day, that's 620. So I spent the time. 18 days out of the 31. So that's that. And what I got done in that time was everything you see here so far, except for the house, the half track, 2 Germans and 3 Americans were already built. So that everything, that half track, the 3 US Command, and the 2 German Command and the house were all built. So since then, I've painted the German Command plus 2 others, and I've started painting some of the others, and I've started painting the Germans. The Americans still, those Americans are not primed or anything yet, and I primed the house, primed and painted the half track. I want to try to keep focused on getting 20 minutes a day. I probably won't shoot videos every time. Maybe I'll do some summaries or something like that, like what I got done for the week or something if I remember. But I do want to keep at some number per day to keep me at it. And if I know I'm going to have a busy few days where I can't really do it, then maybe spend a little bit more time on, tonight, getting 40 minutes in or something if I can't do it tomorrow. Because I like the progress I've made. The rest of the Germans should be fairly easy because I'm not doing any sort of, well, that's not true. I'm pretty much not doing camo on them except their helmets. Most of the guys have that cloth. So they'll be a little different, but those won't take long. So most of the Germans themselves will just be highlighting their helmets, and then a couple little things to kind of draw out on their uniforms, like the binoculars or whatever. So I'm going to focus on finishing them. The weather right now is not good for priming, so the Americans have to wait. I'm going to have to wait for just the right day for that. I can always work on the building. Those are done. I do have a few Americans done, so I could kind of start thinking through. They'll be easier than the Germans. They're basically going to be like these regular Germans. I've got my color, I'll wash them, and then I'll highlight, and then touch up, get a couple things to pull out. So there you go. 20 minutes a day, I got that progress done. If I hadn't done that, I probably wouldn't have made it this far because it's real easy for me to say, I don't know if I want to paint. That's just the way it is. I did have someone ask about my palette choice here, so let me go to the other room. So I've had a couple people ask about my palette, 2 or 3 people. Robbie asked why I didn't. Robbie asked a question. I appreciate Robbie. He's out there trying to learn the hobby, so he's asking me some questions. And then a couple people who are further along in the hobby asked me. So this is glass. I originally used that when I was doing block printing, which I've done a couple times as well. In block printing, you put the ink on there, and then you roll the brayer on it, and then you roll over the Linocut that you've done. So I've just stuck with that, and then it cleans off really easy. Just get a razor blade and clean it off for the most part. The wash is actually a little harder to get off than the paints most of the time. So I usually use this because I don't often paint in enough. You know what I'm saying? So I'll paint like a couple days, 2 or 3 days, and that's it for a long period of time. So the wet palette doesn't do any good. This project, I probably should use a wet palette, especially now that I'm on the Germans and Americans where I know I've got a lot more to do. And I had made myself a wet palette. So there we go. I just need to put a paper towel and then a parchment paper on there, and I'll make one. So I'm going to get back to that. I've thought about it a few times, like, I don't know. I've done it before and it just really molds, but I was using a sponge, so I'm going to use paper towels so it's easier to change out, and I think it'll be perfect for this project. So I'm going to give that a shot because that also has a nice addition of kind of getting the paints a little bit more, thinned out a little bit as opposed to putting on this. And as you can see, they dry out. I'm okay, but I do have a lot of figures to paint, so if I can spare the paint, the better. So anyway, that's the palette question. I hope that answers the question. Got a list out for what I need to do for the Germans, and I'll start cranking out on those. Thank you all for your comments and all this stuff through January. I saw another painting challenge come out about something new, so I think I'm just going to stick with kind of just 20 minutes a day, and I'll probably just hashtag 20 minutes a day paint or 20 minutes a day hobby or something. Not really a challenge. That's that. We'll chat at you all later. Bye.